Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. And we're just going to go over a little more of Edward Cagney Matthews. They printed the actual report of phone calls and arrest. And I want you to see the kind of things that is on the report. So I blew it up as much as I could on the screen. If you have a hard time seeing it, I would just suggest that you put yourself on full screen. That way you can see what's listed here. So the report is 717 pages long, but the one I'm going to show you is 2 pages long. That just breaks down the year, what the crime was, whether he was indicted or he was convicted. He didn't go to jail for probably the majority of it. Things that would have easily landed a Black man in jail. And let's talk about that a bit too. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the 3rd time I have seen a white man with a criminal history that goes back decades. But one thing that stands out more than anything else, they were completely unaffected by 3 strikes you're out. They never applied 3 strikes you're out on them like they do Black men. If you look at Edward, his rap sheet, he was committing a crime. He was committing all kinds of crimes back during the time when Black men were mass incarcerated on 3 strikes you're out. But no matter how many crimes he committed, I noticed they never stuck that to him. And he's not the only one. I worked with a white man. He was the janitor. He had a rap sheet. He had a rap sheet that went back all the way to the 70s. And he was in and out of prison. But you notice how the one thing that stuck out was the fact that he was hired for a job where Black inmates that get out couldn't get jobs, but he got hired. So they're more inclined to forgive their own and give them jobs than a Black man. That's the truth. And number 2, he was still committing crimes all through the 80s and 90s, back when, again, Black men were heavily being incarcerated for 3 strikes you're out. He never got hit with it. So, and then I did a video on a white man, and he was a drug dealer. And he was another one, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. It went back like 25 years, in and out of jail, right? He was never impacted by 3 strikes you're out, like many of the Black men that are sitting in jail right now in the state of New Jersey and been in there since the crack era. And I'm just noticing many of these white men are totally unaffected by that, which makes me believe that they weren't applying it to them like they were the Black man. And if they were, it was very few of them. It might be a low percentage of them in there, but it's definitely not equal to the same magnitude that Black men were put in there during 3 strikes you're out. How you doing, LVZ? Shalom. And, and I'm noticing that with Edward Cagney, same thing. So I'm just saying, I'm just starting to believe they never applied 3 strikes you're out to them. That's how it's appearing to me. I mean, if you think it's not the case, then just let me know in the chat. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and I just want you to see what's on his report, all the different crimes and everything. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Edward Cagney Matthews. All right. So right here, you can see his name at the top on the left, and it's going to list all of the cases that were against him. And this goes all the way back to 94. And if y'all your memory should be good enough to know that even in 94, Black men were being mass incarcerated. Many of them were still going to jail for crack. And there's a lot of them in there now just being a drug addict. That was really their only crime, being a drug addict, and they're in there for the rest of your life. But I want to show you the crimes this man has been committing for 32 years. Now, as you can see, the first case is September 12th, 1994, and he committed a burglary. Now, you may see like a W or S. That is a warrant for the act of burglary, or he got a summons or a subpoena. So you may see an S. So that's what you're seeing on. So you'll see the description. Now, if you can't see this, y'all, I would just suggest you put yourself on full screen. That way you see it. If I blow this up even more, it actually gets cut off. This is the biggest I could make it without it getting cut off. All right, so let's scroll through this. So you also see, not even a month later, he got hit with narcotic charges. And you can see right here, there was arrest. There was an arrest. He was charged. But as you can see for the burglary, they let him go. They let him go. Now, I don't know if it was a first-time offense, but one clear thing is true. White men definitely get treated totally different in criminal justice than Black men do. And this is living proof of it. So he did narcotics, got hit with narcotics on October 10th, 1994, and in December 27th, 1994. So he got hit twice with narcotics. This is all in 1994. These are 3 crimes right here. No 3 strikes you're out for Edward Cagney Matthews at all. And he got a rap sheet that most Black men don't even have. And that's the truth. Now, yeah, there are Black men with rap sheets, but this man, I have not come across many that got a rap sheet that goes 32 years. 32 years, y'all? Damn. Okay. And 1995, you can see theft, larceny. And he had the police called on him every single time you see these things listed here. The cops were called on him. Okay. And it's just unbelievable how many times the police was called on this dude. Burglary, theft of vehicle, harassment, shoplifting, harassment. He just loves harassing people, right? Arrest for another. So he got arrested in more than likely another New Jersey town. It was not Mount Laurel. That's why they have MLPD, no MLPD case. So he was probably arrested in a different township, more than likely. Caller, annoying phone calls. So he was making annoying phone calls to someone, and they called the police on him. Legal process, more than likely, he got a summons or subpoena he had to respond to. Alarm burglar. I mean, this is just crazy. This is crazy. Assault. And that's another thing. He had a lot of harassment, assault, and those type of crimes. Why was this man free? I mean, look at this stuff. Narcotics, harassment, and he was in 1994. He just went buck wild. You look at this. February 23rd, 2004. Another one, March 29th. April 22nd. This was May 3rd. He just, I guess, harassment. And you can tell these are for different things. Assault, narcotics, harassment, domestic harassment. Somebody called 911 and they started telling them something and then they abandoned the call. So I don't know why that happened. Domestic, he was a wanted person, arrested in another jurisdiction. So he got arrested in New Jersey outside of Mount Laurel. Look at this. Alarm burglar. He was harassing. So he just sure loves harassing people. Threats. He threatened someone. And this is all, look at all those 2004s. I guess he just lost his mind in 2004. And then when 2005 came, you see the burglary. Shit, he started early in the year. January 10th, 2005, burglary. He stole a car. How the hell do you do all this stuff and you're free? I mean, he got put in jail a few times, but it seems like he stayed free more than he went to jail. But again, it shows you the double standards in the criminal justice system that we already knew this. Look at this. And all right, so January 10th, 2005, burglary. Vehicle theft. He did that, the 12th of January in 2005. I mean, he do his crime close together. Trespass. Another burglary, harassment, 2006. He got hit with harassment charges. Yeah, he sure likes mess. I mean, no defense. Why didn't anybody beat the brakes off of this dude by now? How the hell does he have all these harassment and assaults and all this stuff on him and nobody ain't kicked this man's ass? That's what I want to know. So that's 2006. Look like 2007, he didn't do much. 2008, but 2009, harassment, domestic, suspicious vehicle, probably one he stole. Missing person. What the hell? Missing person. Compliant missing person. Okay, I don't know. Criminal mischief, narcotics, theft. I mean, look at this. This is 2011, 2012 theft. It looked like there was a wellness check there. Contact police info, property, which could be property damage in 2016. Because this is when I think like around 2017, 2016 is when those folks that he lived around start calling the police on him. But so I want y'all to take notice to the amount of calls that came in from 2016, property, domestic, harassment, domestic, dispute, criminal mischief. This is during the time he was living in that complex. Look at all these calls. 2017, harassment, contact police info. And men, I believe this is around where that woman said he was vandalizing her vehicle. Dispute, harassment, mischief, harassment. This is all the time he was in that complex. Look at all the 2017s and 2016. Look at this. Look at this. And you mean to tell me the police sat on all of this and didn't do nothing to him? They didn't do shit. Look at 2018. Okay, mischief, domestic. Look at 2019. He was still in that same complex. Fraud, domestic, harassment, caller dispute, EMS assist. Dispute. I mean, this is crazy. Looking at this rap sheet, this is crazy. But you saw how slow they were to do something about him. You know damn well if he was a black man and did the same exact thing that you're seeing listed here, there's no way you would have been free. There's no way you'd be in there for the rest of your life at this point. But they let him stay free. You know, those folks really should consider doing a class action lawsuit in that complex, because people failed to do their jobs, and we know the police failed to do theirs. Just looking at something like this, they didn't do their job. They didn't want to do their job. Now, he's either related to somebody on the police force, or in the criminal justice system in Burlington County, something is up. Because I just don't see how he stayed out of jail so much. And if you look here, he was arrested a few times, but the blanks are a lot of times he was not arrested. So he committed a lot of crimes, especially the harassment, and nobody did a thing to him. You see more blanks than you see numbers in here for his arrest. I mean, this is crazy. Let me go ahead and. So never let them try to act like you are, Black people are committing all the crimes. No, white people commit a lot of crimes in America, but they don't get arrested. Or there's a judge sitting on the bench to let them out of everything. That's why it appears like they're not doing as much as Black people. They have to rig everything up to make it look that way. It's not happening that way naturally. It's just like everything else in this country. It's heavily rigged. Criminal court is heavily rigged in America. There is no way. You know why he kept going and going with the crimes? Because they were never really doing anything hard. They were never hard on him. That's why he kept going and going. And that's usually the case when you see someone like him committing crime after crime after crime. They keep going with the shit because nobody is doing anything to them. But, just looking at this, the New Jersey courts in Burlington County should be ashamed of the job they have done. They should be ashamed. Now you want to go all hard and heavy-handed with this man for the simple fact that this shit went viral. And people showed up in big crowds outside of his house when he was dumb enough to give his address out. That was the only reason why they took a stand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, since his arrest, there's been a few incidents in Mount Laurel, and now they jump up and snatch these people up right away. They weren't doing that before. But now when they're out in Mount Laurel ranting and doing all that mess or causing a disturbance at a store, acting like Karen, they come out and grab them people up now real fast. And they were never doing that before. Oh, no, a Black man would not have survived outside of the jail past maybe like 2 or 3. After that, they would have found some way to keep him in jail for many years or for the rest of his life. He would definitely never have gone on like this man did. It would never have happened. Loretta, how you doing, girl? She just walked in here. Yeah, I mean, so that's why I don't listen to them when they go on rants talking about Black people and crime. Like these folks don't have no business forming their lips to talk to us about no damn crime. Okay, they've been committing crime since they've been on the land. And then they'll say, well, it wasn't considered a crime back then. No, it was a crime back then. Oh, okay, it wasn't considered to you as being a crime, but it was definitely a crime. That's usually what a typical criminal will say anyway, when they do something that wasn't considered a crime, spoken like a criminal. But yeah, now, like I said, he's about the 3rd case I've seen in New Jersey where you see this long rap sheet and they are completely unaffected by 3 strikes, you're out. There you go. There you go. So you can't tell me that, the justice system in this country has been balanced enough where you could say, yeah, well, maybe they are committing crimes. Nah. Edward Cagney Matthews is screaming rigged. It's screaming rigged. Okay, screaming it. Yeah, and you saw how much narcotics was on that report. I mean, he's been into the drugs for, I mean, decades now. And he did go to jail a few times, but obviously it was not long enough to make any difference because he stayed on that criminal path. Okay. And the fact that he did that, he was undeterred by any amount, any little amount that they put him in there for. So if they're not going to put him in there where it's going to make a difference, of course, he's going to come out and just continue to commit crimes. And that's just what he did. He just continued to commit crimes. All right, Loretta, here, I'm going to have to let you out the room. You know I love you, but you got to come back a different time, girl. Go on. All right. Okay. So, so I just wanted to show y'all that because it was recently published. Well, first of all, the Justice Department in this country, the only thing they need to do is dismantle everything because it doesn't work. In fact, they run it like criminals. Okay, they run the criminal justice system like criminals. Thank you, Black Cobra Ninja 5, for the super chat. Even Loretta agrees. Yeah. So, I mean, this is just crazy. But we know we get sick of seeing this kind of stuff because we know the laws have never, ever been applied equally. This is why I laugh when they come trying to rant at Black people like they got some damn room to talk. Please. They have no room to talk. They never had any room to talk. But one beautiful thing about today, at least this stuff is now going viral. They didn't have that happen to them even 20, 30 years ago, but it sure is happening now. And so, before we would talk about these things and they would claim we were lying, or if we were trying to talk about something racial that was going on, they used to always try to act like we exaggerate everything. And we weren't now are you saying we are? Of course we're not. Now is so many viral videos out here, they really can't run back and say those kind of things anymore. They had the luxury of doing that for centuries. They don't have that anymore. Now people are seeing it. Even if they just come along and say, well, that ain't what happened. This is what happened. It's not making any difference. Okay. It's not making any difference. People ain't going to go by what they're saying. They're going to go by what they see on that video, whether they like it or not. So, it's a different story today. It is no longer like it used to be. And I'll go into some of the, YouTube videos for mainstream news and just to look at the comments. Ooh, there's a lot of comments dragging the cops, a lot. And you'll see a few sprinkled in there that are pro-cop. But I tell you what, the people that are against the cop are in way higher numbers than the ones that are pro-cop when you go out there and look at some of the stories. But they know these things. They know. And when they try to talk about, you heard one of the Capitol Police committed suicide. And when they come to you talking about how much they love the police and support the police, always bring up January 6th. They sure weren't loving them on that day. Okay, they weren't loving them cops on that day. And many of them are now trying to drag the cops that testified. Okay, you might have saw some of the testimony, and many of those cops were talking about how bad January 6th was. I watched some of it. It was on Washington Post. They live streamed it, and Fox News and some of their right wing news propaganda machines were all trying to drag those cops. I said, okay, so you're not even pro-cop when they're testifying. See, that's why I don't listen to these people when they come trying to talk up the cops. They're full of crap. They know how to turn it on and turn it off when it's convenient. Okay. When it's convenient for them to be pro-cop, they are. When it's not convenient for them, they go completely negative on the cop. That's why people like that, you can't pay them no mind or take into heart anything they say. It's a joke. So y'all, I just wanted you to see that. I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, and stay tuned I have one, for our Hebrew brothers and sisters at 3:30. You're all more than welcome to come. I know everybody don't come to that one, but you're all invited to come if you want to just come and listen to Brother L. And tomorrow I have an update on Abigail Elphick. Come to find out, ladies and gentlemen, she lied to the police about virtually everything. It was out there that she was a teaching assistant in the school district. They said she was never employed there. Then she named a cop that happened to have the same last name as her and said that was her. I think she said that was her father. That cop has come out and said he just shares a last name with her, but he is not related to her at all. I mean, she done lied about everything she told those police officers, but yet she's still free. She's still free. So I'll be going over that in a live stream tomorrow. So, again, you're supposed to be so pro-cop, but you stood there and did all this damn lying to the police. So after they investigated a few things, they're finding she didn't tell the truth about too much of nothing that day. So, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. We're going into our next heat wave, I think, starting Tuesday all the way through Saturday. I'm not looking forward to that. The heat can be so depressing, for real. So everybody, I'll see some of you later, and the rest of you, have a good one. Shalom, family.